Welcome back to the How to Make Sushi channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make something that will tickle the senses. It'll make you intrigued and interested about food and just be inspired. It's going to be a dessert that will wow you and slap you across the face and just make you be like, what did I just have? That was amazing. I want another one. So what this is going to be a delicious lime sorbet covered in a little bit of white chocolate, a nice crunchy coating. And then it's going to have a little touch of sprinkle of popping candy on top, which will pop and just excite people as they bite into it and then discover that zing of the lime sorbet. So let's get straight into making this. Let's go. Okay, let's start off by making a simple sugar syrup. We're going to use volumes just to make this easier. 200 milliliters of sugar with 200 milliliters of water. We're going to heat that up until the sugar melts, at which point you're going to want to remove this from the heat and just let it cool down. So we're going to use this for a sorbet. Now, we're going to take 2 to 3 limes, and we're just going to zest them. Should end up with about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of zest. Once you've done that, we're going to reserve that to the side, and we're going to juice our limes. You're going to need about 8 limes to make 200 milliliters of lime juice. I don't recommend you go by this number of limes, but just try to get 200 milliliters exactly of lime juice. Once you've got that, add your zest to it. And then we're going to add our cooled down sugar syrup we just made. And we're going to let this cool down in the fridge for about an hour just to get nice and cold so that we can add it to our ice cream maker. Now I'm just going to drop this into my ice cream maker and turn it on. It usually takes me about 20 minutes to get to a nice sorbet, but I don't really go by time, I just go by the sound that my ice cream machine is making. It will usually start to sound more like it's having a difficult time once it gets to the right consistency, like this here. So once that's done, we're going to transfer this over to a chilled Tupperware. So we're going to store it in the freezer, because a sorbet, when it comes out the ice cream machine maker, is still very, very soft and can melt very, very easily. So just scoop it all out and place it into your chilled Tupperware, and then put that in the freezer for 1 to 2 hours just to harden up. But the more the better. Once that's done, we're going to take a chilled mold. I'll link it in the description. This is a semicircular mold that you can get online. It's from a Molecule R. And I'm just going to fill the semicircles up and then place it back in the freezer to harden again. In a pan with some water, we're going to add 100 grams of coconut oil to a glass with 150 grams worth of white chocolate. This is Milky Bar here. And I'm just going to melt it, and once it's melted, then I'm going to gently whisk it together. And this will be the outer coating of our ice cream balls. Now we've got semicircle molds, they've been hardened for an hour. I'm just going to hit them with a little cloth of water on the top so that I can glue them together. So the water will act like a glue once it freezes over. So I'm just going to put the semicircles together, place this in the freezer again, just to let it freeze over again. This is a very time-intensive process, all this with the freezer thing. Once it's frozen again, I'm going to place little sticks into the ice cream balls and then unmold them. And then I would recommend keeping them again in the freezer, because these sorbet balls melt really easy. Now I'm going to place some popping candy in a bowl and then just dip my ice cream ball into the melted chocolate and coconut and sprinkle it with popping candy. And there we go. That's basically your ice cream balls done. Now you can remove the stick and cover it up with a little bit of white chocolate mix or a little bit of popping candy. Okay, so there we go. Now you know how to make these delicious sorbet balls. And I should say that you can change out the ingredients. So if you don't like lime sorbet, you can make it a raspberry sorbet or a strawberry sorbet. Just switch out the lime juice for raspberry juice and remove the zest also. And for that matter, you could also just switch this to an ice cream recipe. It doesn't have to be a sorbet filling. You could have a vanilla ice cream inside, or a chocolate, or whatever you want to have inside. And the coating on the outside, if you don't like white chocolate, you can make it with a milky chocolate or a dark chocolate. Just keep the coconut oil, because that thins down the mix. I found that when you just use, say, white chocolate, it makes a very thick coating, and then it's just all about the white chocolate. You can't taste the filling. It just overwhelms everything. So having that coconut oil in there thins it down and makes a much thinner crust. Also gives a little bit of coconut flavor. Now, if you wanted to switch it out completely, you could maybe switch it for butter, but I haven't tried that. So you would have to experiment. Okay, so I think nothing left to be said here. Let me try this on camera and give you a taste test or something, but I already know how this is because I've made it a few times, so. Okay, so I'm back. I just got this thing out of the freezer. Now before you serve this, if you have it in the freezer for a long time, you're gonna want to let it defrost a little bit, because otherwise the ice cream will be, well, sorbet will be very hard on the inside and the chocolate might be a bit too intense. So I'm not really gonna wait too long, but let me try it right now. There might be a better way to serve this than on a plate like this. Maybe some sort of little mountain of, yeah, just a better presentation. Anyway, let's just enjoy this. What a roller coaster ride. You have the popping and start, and then you bite through the white chocolate, and then you get the sorbet just flooding in. And I've still got popping sounds in my mouth right now. Oh, I like it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, share it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.